This thought occurred to me last night after a meetup group outing. Waiting outside with a few people for their lift. One woman made it, so I was blocking the breeze. It was cold. I noticed and unzipped my jacket and opened it up to block it more for her. She backs up into me, so I go with it and wrap my jacket around her, and she puts her head on my chest and we just stay like that and chat. It didn't last long, as her lift arrived a moment later. It occurred to me a short time later that that's the most physical contact I've had since I broke up with my ex last year. Despite the short, unexpected moment, I was happy and wanted to drown in it. I didn't want it to end. So, the question for my fellow single people: how often or rare is physical contact? Story 1. Held my crush's hand when we were at an amusement park because the crowd was ridiculous at a certain section, and I didn't want us to lose track of each other. Story 2. Probably when I was working with this girl, we went to grab the same thing, and our hands laid on top of each other. It was so cliché, but I made her flustered, which was cute. Story 3. I actually teared up a little when I read the question because I realized I have not had any physical contact with someone for 2 years besides my family. Story 4. A waitress rested her hand on my shoulder while at a restaurant. She dragged her nails across my shoulder as she left, and I trembled a little. I didn't realize how starved for human touch I was until that point. Story 5. Cuddled with a female best friend for a few days 2 weeks ago. I've been starved of physical contact, so this was great. It's nice to fall asleep holding someone, spooning, or facing each other with our legs crossed, or being a body pillow for her. I need a cuddle buddy, darn it. Story 6. A woman on the train fell asleep next to me and ended up resting her head on my shoulder. As pathetic as it sounds, it felt nice for the whole 10 seconds before she woke up and apologized. That's the only physical contact I've had in months. Story 7. When my friends and I drink, we end up cuddling each other and walking around with our arms around each other's shoulders. We give each other compliments like, "You're looking good in that shirt, man," just to try to boost each other up. I had an old friend take his life 7 years ago. Since then, I try to be more friendly with my friends. I'd rather risk being considered something derogatory by some insecure person than have to bury another friend. Give your friend a hug. He might really need it. Story 8. God, I'm so alone. Someone please touch this comment. Edit. Gold? Gold. Edit 2. I have to change my answer on account of myself just being manhandled by this subreddit worldwide, massively skewing my touch/no touch ratio for the year. Story 9. A long, tender goodbye hug from a good friend I'm hopelessly in love with after visiting her 2,000 miles away. It's hard not to think about her, even though for my own benefit I know I shouldn't. Thanks for the good vibes. Everyone. She and I are both in professional school, her in Texas and I in New England. She knows how I feel and she's given me a very sweet and forthright answer. That although she cares about me a lot and I make her happy, she's not in a place to be looking for a relationship right now. So it's more of me accepting it and moving on. But we're friends above everything else. Story 10. My best friend's wife jokingly rubbed my shoulders while he gave me a death stare. Edit. To add context, it's a running joke among the friend group, not cheating. Story 11. I was working with a patient's adult son who was really struggling with the situation. He looked like he really needed some comfort. I asked him if he would like a hug, and he practically leapt into my arms. The way a sad 5-year-old will put his whole body into the embrace. And he squeezed like it would keep the end of the world at bay. Best human contact all year. Story 12. Until recently, I hadn't been hugged for 8 years, but I guess my friend and I are comfortable hugging each other now, so I pretend to be super blasé when she offers one. But really, it feels really nice even if it only lasts a second or two. Story 13. Drunk and sober would be different answers. Drunk, I've had proper close hugs with girls, whereas sober, it's more just a casual nice to see you thing. I did share a bed with a friend's sister, but nothing happened, and I don't think there was any touching, although I was pretty drunk. Story 14. Goodbye hugs from female friends are the most physical contact I get, and it's a bummer because I really like it, especially if it's emotional and not just for the sake of it. Story 15. This makes me sad. Lurker here for obvious reasons. Female. Hope you don't mind me butting in for a second here. I have one male friend that will regularly ask if I need a hug. It's really comforting, and I would definitely give out more hugs to my male friends. Seems from this they really need them. Story 16. This is going to sound really bad, but honestly, besides a handshake and a family hug, I probably haven't had any form of physical contact in 4 or so years. Story 17. I was starting to date a girl a few months ago after moving to a new city for school. She was really into watching movies and Korean dramas, which resulted in lots of cuddling on her couch. By far, the best night was watching Jurassic Park with her. I ended up putting my head in her lap and holding her hand while she played with my hair. I think that's the most comfortable I've ever been in my life. Story 18. The physical contact is actually a large reason why I get regular professional massages. Yes, the prescribed benefits are there, but the human-to-human contact is where the real value is for me. I highly recommend it for people commenting here. Story 19. Touch starvation or skin hunger is a very real psychological phenomenon that can be intensely alienating to people. When it affects people in large groups, it is usually due to ingrained cultural issues. In nature, this is a huge part of why monkeys spend so much time grooming each other. It enforces group bonding, releases tons of endorphins, and provides all those tasty lice. Story 20. I had a man really touch my heart this year. It happened over the course of 5 hours. Of course, I don't remember any of it because I was put under and he was a heart surgeon. It also helps that I have got kids. They have been extra affectionate the past couple of days after I picked them up from an aborted sleepover at my former in-laws' house. Hopefully, when I have recovered more, I will be able to cuddle with my daughter as part of bedtime again. Story 21. I have a kid, 5 years old. I know it won't last forever, so every day, and it's seriously the best thing ever. We ruggle, mostly snuggling with a bit of wrestling, and snestle, mostly wrestling with some snuggling, all the time, and we both love it. She laughs her head off, so do I, and it's seriously the best therapy or activity in the world, especially this time of year as I really suffer from seasonal depression. I know this community skews younger, and many don't like or never want to have kids, but it's amazing. And yes, I'm a big softie. Daughters are wonderful. Story 22. My friends hug me sometimes. Also, a little while ago, I accidentally touched my very attractive stand partner's wrist with my bow arm during an orchestra rehearsal. At that time, I had not engaged in self-pleasure in about 100 days. My sex drive was so absurdly high that even that instant of contact felt like pure electricity. Story 23. My mom passed away a few months ago. I had a lot of solid and deep friend hugs during that whole deal. To be honest, now that I think about it, although the circumstances were awful, getting rough again approaching Christmas as mom loved Christmas. Having the opportunity or excuse to let my guard down and get close with family and friends when I needed the support was quite refreshing. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, lots of emotions. Going to leave it there. Story 24. Well, I am someone who is beginning to learn how to undo the damage of emotional and psychological abuse. So giving physical contact does not come easy, nor does asking despite loving it. Family hugs do not really exist. Except for the parents, everyone is dead. Handshakes are just too common to even consider. Took a wasp to the eye at 40 miles per hour this summer. Technically, physical contact was made. I did have a lot of a friend named Smirnoff inside of me, but people say not to count that one. With the exception of a friend's girlfriend who gives an occasional hug. That is it, though I did take her hand one night walking her back to her apartment. Did have an eye-opening situation one night. The three of us were at dinner, forget what we were talking about, but she pokes my friend in the torso to make a point. He is heavy, needs to make some life changes, and then turns to try and do the same to me to show him the difference. I'm quite lean. She did not really follow through. Friend is watching the two of us and stops. Dude, what the hell was that about? I was clueless. You just immediately tensed up. They noticed. I did not. Might have some more things repressed in memory, yet to put that together. Story 25. Went out with a few friends today, and when my crush had to leave, she walked around and hugged everyone else, both guys and girls, goodbye, except for me. She just waved me goodbye, which was nice as well, I guess. Story 26. I'm a bisexual man, so it's easy for me to get physical contact from men. I can visit a gay bar or a gay bathhouse, and it temporarily takes away the desire for sexual contact. But it's almost never intimate or emotional. It's just raw sexual contact, so it doesn't really completely alleviate the need at all. It just sort of numbs the pain for a while. Story 27. Watching my lady friend slowly wake up and stir from her sleep, she hazily says, "Good morning." And we gaze into each other's eyes for a while, just admiring each other, knowing the moment isn't going to last. She then snuggles up closer, and we lay there for an hour, just enjoying the moment. Hopefully, we see each other again soon. Story 28. I'm 24, and my new neighbors are 70 years old. I was with my sister in her apartment the other day, talking about her recommendations for food around here. She enthusiastically recommended a pizza place, and she's from New York City, so I kind of trusted her on that one. Well, we're in the middle of a lively conversation about nothing in particular when she stops everything, gives me a big hug, and tells me she thinks I'm adorable. All my single ladies out there better step up their game if they want to impress me now. Oh my God. And she brought us apple pie. MM. Story 29. The last couple of months, I have been cuddling in school with a girl. We have interlaced hands. I don't care if it sounds stupid. I really enjoy it. Feels nice. I don't know if she likes me, but I don't want it to stop. Tomorrow is the last time I'll see her until next year in February. Story 30. I was in New York City back in June, staying in an Airbnb. I shared a room with a few travelers. On the first day, I was jet-lagged, so I took a nap and was woken up by a beautiful German girl who had just arrived. I was jet-lagged, and so was she, so we went out on a date right then and there. It was fun, and we held hands and talked as we walked back. It was like that for the week and a half she was there, but then she left. That was the last time I had physical contact. We still text every now and then to catch up, and I do miss her. Who knows, maybe we'll see each other again. Story 31. Now that I think about it, I have not had physical contact with a woman who is not a family member in over 6 years, when I got a brief hug. Thanks for making me think of this. Story 32. This thread is breaking my heart. How can I come hug all of you? I'm so appreciative that my girlfriends and I are always hugging. Being so touch-starved would kill me. Edit. Thank you, kind stranger, for the silver. I feel special now, but seriously, if any of you know how to make an app that connects people who just want a hug or maybe cuddles, we should get on it because it shouldn't be this way for men just because our society is so dumb. Story 33. A friend of mine thanked me for an insignificant favor I did for her, giving her a cigarette, by rubbing my shoulder and my arm up and down a couple of times, as if I were a dog. Still, the unexpected contact, combined with no contact for a long time, and me valuing contact quite a lot, gave me goosebumps and made my arm feel like it was on fire. Story 34. I think it might be a cultural thing, but I pretty much give a hug to almost everyone. Most of my social contacts with males involve a handshake followed by a pull and then a hug. Similar with women, a kiss followed by a hug. Outside of that, I don't have a lot of physical contact, excluding sex. Funny thing, but all of my physical interactions were barely physical at all if we exclude sex. One thing I really like about having a girlfriend is that physical contact that barely exists in one-night stands and the like. That being said, I'm not that successful but somehow managed to never go longer than 3 months without sex, which is a success in my book. After reading some of the comments, I definitely think it's cultural. After reading more comments, I'm depressed. You guys should start a new trend with hello hugs with your closer friends. I see some people not having physical human contact for 3 years. I can't even fathom that. Story 35. Do hookups count? It legitimately made me sad that there wasn't any cuddling involved, though. For real, guys need the appropriate level of that stuff too, ladies. Story 36. My go-to is that when my friends look really tired or sad or stressed, I ask them, "Are you okay?" And then, after looking at them worriedly for a bit, I say, "If you need one, I could give you a hug." You have to try to read the situation, of course, but it's been a lifesaver for me during the times when I was so starved for physical contact that I felt like I was dying. Some people are more ready for touch if you phrase it as a question about them, rather than asking them like it's a favor for you. And if they say no, I just smile at them and nod and say, okay, I hope you'll feel better soon. It often gives me a smile in return, and that is quite nice too. Story 37. I know I don't exactly count in this post as I am in a relationship, but a few days ago, after an especially tough work week that left my heart absolutely hurting, I embraced my father for the first time in what feels like forever, like a lengthy, minute-long bear hug. It was probably the most meaningful contact with someone I've felt in years. I'm dating a lovely woman and have a healthy physical relationship, so physical contact is common. But the act of embracing my father and holding on to someone that I've always been able to depend on through thick and thin my whole life was enough, at that moment, to bring me to tears, which is very much not normal for me. Story 38. Low-key, this is so precious. As a girl, I think about doing stuff like this, but I'm always scared guys will think I'm coming on to them, which to be honest I might be subconsciously. I wish this country was more comfortable with physical touch. Story 39. I've been single for 5 years now. I've had my share of hookups, I guess. But at this point, sex doesn't hold a candle to someone just wanting to hug you. A genuine hug hasn't happened in a long, long time. Story 40. This thread is strangely mind-blowing to me as a female lurker. Is hugging hello or goodbye not a thing for most guys? Or platonic cuddling? Most of my friend groups over the years have had an even split between guys and girls, and we would always hug each other hello or goodbye regardless of gender, even if we saw each other multiple times a day. Yes, the guys did the manly backpat hug, but they still hugged each other, and we girls gave squeeze-tight hugs to each other and our guy friends all the time. During movie nights, we would all cuddle together in a platonic pile. I always thought that was fairly normal. Having lived in a few different countries, most of my friends were always like this. I guess tactile people find each other? And before anyone asks, no, nothing sexual was going on between us all. Sometimes there would be a couple in the group, but they were used to each other being platonically touchy-feely with others in the group. I'm so sorry for all you touch-starved guys. I promise there are tactile people out there who love nothing better than to give affectionate friend hugs all the time.